On episode 397 of the 40 Plus Fitness podcast, we discuss productivity and time management. You can find the full show notes for this episode at 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/397. Have you decided you're ready to make a change? To reclaim your health and fitness? The 40 Plus Fitness podcast is here for you. I'm your host, Alan Meisner. I'm an NSAM certified personal trainer with a specialization in corrective exercise and fitness nutrition. Let me be your coach as you find your way on your health and fitness journey. All right, let's go. Hello. And if you were one of the folks that voted for the Wellness Roadmap to get us into the Author Academy Awards, we made it to the finals. So thank you for that. I really appreciate this. But we still have a little bit of work to do. Now, there are two things that I have to do and one thing that I need your help with. The first thing is I need to travel to Columbus for the ceremony. I have to be there to accept the award. And so I've already booked my ticket. I'm on my way. Well, I'll be there. Second, I have to do a speech to the selection committee. And I'm writing that speech right now. Very concise, very clear, very strong. It'll be a great speech, I promise. So I'm doing my best there. Where I need your help, and I do really sincerely need your help, is they still look at social proof. They look at votes. So if you will go to 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/final, that's 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/final, that will take you to their page. Now there, you scroll forward to page 6 of 17. It's a wonky little site. I'm going to work with them on that. I'll have a conversation with them when I'm up there. But that said, page 6 of 17, a health category, you're going to see the Wellness Roadmap right on the top of that. Click on the photo of the cover, and that's your vote. So they're not asking for your email address. They're not asking for any information from you. They just want you to go in, click on the photo of the book, The Wellness Roadmap, and that's a vote. So if we can get those votes in there, then they're going to know this is a book that's worth listening to. This is a book that's worth reading. This is a book that can give them value. And I'll be there giving my speech. I'll be there. And what I need from you between now and then is please go on 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/final and vote for the Wellness Roadmap. Thank you. Now, they tell you when you start any kind of speech, any kind of talk, never start with an apology. But I am actually going to start this with an apology. I'm going to break that rule for a couple different reasons. One is I'm actually going to do the audio producing for this one. I've waited longer to do this episode because I've actually quite been very, very busy. The other reason that I feel a need to apologize is I'm recording this episode in a very empty house, and therefore probably going to be some echoes, not the sound quality that you're used to having, for both reasons. One, I'm doing the audio producing, and two, there's an echo in the house as I talk, and so probably not the best listening quality that you've had with podcasts that I've done for you over the years, and I apologize for that. But I do think the concept of what I'm talking about today is very, very important, and I do want you to pay attention to that, please. So today, we're going to talk about a topic that I think is really missing in the health and fitness field because, whenever I talk to someone about why they're not successful, why they're not showing up to work out, why they're not doing the things that they know they need to do, I typically get one very clear answer. I'm just too busy. So that has me kind of hitting my head and saying, okay, well, why are we so busy that we can't actually focus on our health and fitness when they are clearly important to us? So I'm going to walk you through something right now that I want you to really take some time to think about. And if you're doing something else while you're listening to this podcast, maybe not the best podcast to listen to that way. Go back and listen to us again, because I think this is really, really valuable, particularly if you find yourself substituting time for health, substituting time for fitness, and saying you just don't have the time. Because this episode is going to give you that tool. It's going to help you understand how you can prioritize this in a way that makes sense, because so many people do the prioritization wrong, and so many people tell you should do prioritization this way. And I'm going to tell you that I know that's not workable, and you're going to hear more as we kind of go through this session. So I want to take you back. So I want you to think back to a time when you were your most productive best self, when you were actually kind of had the energy and the capacity and just seemed to be on board, just as boom, 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 everything seemed to be working. And I know you have one of those. I know you have a time where you felt like, okay, I'm touching all the bases, I'm doing all the things, I'm spinning all the plates. Everything is working the way I want it to work. And I'll tell you about myself in that time. I was a college student going to Southern Miss, majoring in accounting. Not an easy major, but not a hard major for me. It was a good major. I got it. I understood it. I worked hard. And I was taking the full load. And I was married. And I had a full-time job. But every single afternoon, I was in the gym, Monday through Friday, pretty much from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, every single day. I was in my mid-20s. I was looking good. I was feeling good. I had all the energy in the world. I was working that full-time job. I was going to school full-time, and I was paying for it while I was going through it, with the help of people that helped me get scholarships and do some other things. But all that said, I was making this thing happen, and everything was firing on all cylinders. So who was I then that if I'm giving myself excuses to not work out now, that's different? And it was really about my priorities. People don't go to the gym not because they know they shouldn't or they don't want to. They just end up prioritizing something else over going to the gym. They don't take the time to cook good food because it's easier to stop off at the restaurant and pick it up, or go into the restaurant and eat it, or worse, go to a fast food drive-up window and get what they think they need for food. So it really kind of comes down to do you have control of your own schedule? And I think most of us would say, well, no. I have to be at work at 9 o'clock, and then I have to be there till 6, or I have to be there at 8 until 5. Or maybe it's I have to be there at 8 until 10. Whatever it is, if you're telling yourself that health and fitness is a priority, then you're going to do some things to make that happen. So if I'm going to school full time and I'm going to work full time, where are those hours? And what I found was they were right in the middle. They were right smack dab in the middle of my face. I went to school in the morning. I scheduled my classes from 8 to 2, and my work schedule on most weeknights started at 5. I had 2 solid hours that I could be in the gym, and that's exactly where I was. So this was not so much about me trying to do more to be more productive. This was just literally me saying, this is my fixed time. This is my time. When I was working for a corporation and I wanted to get fit and stay fit, I put it on my calendar. From 2 to 3 was my gym time. It was my lunch. I wrote lunch on my schedule. So anyone that wanted to schedule a meeting during that 2 to 3 time saw that that was my lunch hour. I wasn't available. I was busy. and I was typically in the gym. Now, obviously, sometimes my boss would call me and say, hey, come on up, and it messed up with my gym time. But in a general sense, anyone who wanted to schedule time with me knew that was booked out, banked out time. It's not there. It's not their time. It's my time. So how do we get to this point where we're comfortable telling the world that we're not going to work on their time? We're going to work on our time. Because that's a very hard conversation to have. It comes down to a couple different things. And one, I'll point back to a book I read early on in my career. I want to say right now the book's probably about 10 years old. Maybe not that old, but it's been a while since this book came out. And the book is called Essentialism. And if you'll go to the show notes, this is episode 397. So 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/397. You'll find a link to that book. That's a very good book that allows you to understand that if you say yes to everything, then you're saying no to some pretty important things because you're just not going to be able to do them. They're not going to come around. So you've got to really break things down and understand what's really important. Now, there's a lot of people that will tell you you need to have one core focus, one thing you're working on. And there's a book, it's called The One Thing, and it's on my reading list. I think I downloaded it on Audible, so I'll probably be listening to it while I fly home next week. But it goes deeper than that. Our lives are so complex. There can't just be one thing. If your kid's sick, you that's your one thing. If work calls, that's your one thing. But what if your work calls while your kid's sick? Okay. And so what I've come to realize is that we have these identities. We have this thing of who we want to be and where we really want to be. But we have so many competing things, so many things that are coming about and saying, go here, go there, get this, do that. So there never really is just one thing. There's often multiple things. Are they all equally important? No, at any given time, they're not. Some of them are more important than others, but your priorities are going to shift. Things are going to shift. But if health and fitness are two of your priorities and they're on your radar, they're on your sights, then it's easier for you to make some decisions and say, okay, I get it. This is important, but I'm not going to let it derail me, because as soon as I get this done, I shift over to this health and fitness priority, or this health priority, or this fitness priority. So what I've done is I've created this concept called the identity grid. And shout out to Rob. He is one of my clients. We were having a conversation about this concept, and he's the one who kind of brought identity to the math as I talk about it. So again, thank you, Rob. I really appreciate you. But here's what the identity grid is. It's basically 4 things that make you who you are. And I will say, as I look at the email addresses of people that take my challenges, there's so many moms out there. So it's like, I can tell you, your identity is very much surfaced around being mom or now grandma. There are many of us like myself. My identity was about my business, about my work, and who I was as, an accountant and an auditor, as a C-suite executive. That was my identity. Now, does that mean that there's not opportunities there for me to have relationships? No. There's great opportunities for me to have relationships if I'm willing to work on them. There's great opportunities for me to work on my health, and there's great opportunities for me to work on my fitness. But if I focus on just one thing, then I just go to work every day. And I kill that, but I die in the process because I don't have the relationships, I don't have the health, and I don't have the fitness. So in the identity grid, what you want to do is you want to pick 4 channels. My 4 channels have been career, relationships, health, and fitness. Have I nailed all four of those? Well, no, of course not. Never. But if I keep those top of mind, those four channels, then each morning I have the opportunity to set my intention. So the real question would be, when I wake up tomorrow on Tuesday, because this episode comes out on a Monday, when I wake up tomorrow on Tuesday, what's my action in each of those four quadrants? What do I want to do for my health? What do I want to do for my fitness? What do I want to do for relationships? What do I want to do for my career? Or in my case now, my clients. I want to make them as healthy and fit as they can be. What can I do for my clients tomorrow? What's my one thing? What is the one thing that I can do for my relationships with my family, with my friends? What's the one thing that I can do tomorrow for my health? And what's the one thing I can do for my fitness? So if I wake up each morning with a clear action, then I know I'm moving in the right direction. Now, from the action, we start establishing goals. So I want to work out 3 times per week. That's my fitness goal that gives me an action that each day, as I go forward, I have a specific workout that I'm going to be doing 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 6 times a week. Whatever it is, that's my goal. So the goal is to complete the action on a consistent basis. I want to be reaching out and talking to my family members. I want to be out and doing things for my health, eating better, doing those types of things. With my career, my relationships with my clients, I want to make sure that I'm delivering results each and every day. So I have these goals, and then the goals, well, unfortunately, goals are an approach where an obstacle can step in and actually kind of break you down. An obstacle can come in and say, hey, you wanted to do this fitness thing and go to the gym, 5 days a week. Well, guess what? You just tore a shoulder and there's your obstacle. Or a friend shows up in town and says, hey, let's go out, let's do this. And you're not at the gym. So there's going to be obstacles against your goal. Things that are going to keep you from being able to hit that goal. So what you then have to do is you have to build strategies. So as I kind of put these things together, if you're going to try to visualize this, and I know it's very difficult, if you go to 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/grid, you're going to find a grid that actually puts all 4 of these together with each of the pieces that I'm discussing right now. So I'd encourage you to go out there and check that out because it's a great little tool that I just developed to help you work this through. So to work it backwards, think about this. You're going to have strategies in place to basically break down the obstacles. So if my obstacle is, okay, my friends want to play poker on Monday at 2:00. And I want to go play poker with them. I enjoy playing poker with them, but that's the best time for me to be at the gym because none of my clients' schedule calls at 2:00. I can go do what I want to do during that hour or 2 hours. And I want to work on my fitness. Also, it's the best time for me to go to the gym because that's the slowest time at the gym, which means I'll be able to get to all the machines I want to. I'll have a very efficient and effective workout. So if my strategy is avoid the poker game until 3:00, go get your workout in. Yeah, I'm going to be a little sweaty when I go play poker, but hey, they can put up with it if they're getting my money. I have an obstacle and I have a solution. And if I want to do something enough, I'll set a goal. I'll set a goal to be there and do it over and over and over. And the goal is to complete that action. And that action is aligned with one of my channels. So I'm not just setting a goal for the sake of setting a goal. I have an intent. I have a purpose. I have something I want to accomplish. So if it's getting into the gym every single day, 5 days a week, I have an action of going and getting in the gym, doing my workout, the goal of doing it 5 times per week. The obstacles are there. I just have to have the strategies in place to make it happen. Now, the reason I really like this model is it aligns with something that resonates with me, which is called the be, do, have. And this is a mindset where if you want to have something, you can't just acquire with money. You have to make it happen. And the way you make it happen is you set your mind to that person. Who is the person that has that thing? So who is the fit person? Who is the person that people compliment because they've taken care of themselves and they're in good shape? They're the person that emanates that, and they then do the work. So the B means believe in yourself, believe in who you are, have the self-love to go through this whole process, have the self-love to download this grid and to sit down and spend some time thinking about where are your failure points, where are the points where you're not getting what you want, where are the points where if you applied your energy in the right place, aka time management, you would get exactly what you want. This grid will help you do that. So have the self-love to do that, to download this grid, to spend some time thinking this through, because I will tell you this straight up. Health and fitness is 90% mindset. It's nothing hard, but it's the hardest thing in the world if you don't have the right mindset. So I strongly encourage you to spend some time thinking about your mindset, thinking about your goals, thinking about whether your goals and everything you're doing, your identity, is it aligned with the person that you want to be? And if it's not, that's where we have to start. We've got to align ourselves with the mindset to be the person that we want to be. Because if we're not that person, we won't get what we want. If today's episode resonated with you, I really do encourage you to go out and check out the Identity Grid. You can go to 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/grid and get that worksheet today. I really do believe it's a great tool to help you get to the fitness and the lifestyle and the things that you need and want in your life. So please go check it out, 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/grid. Next time on the 40 Plus Fitness Podcast, I discuss the path to health and fitness. Until then, have a happy and healthy day.